Hey, this is Sarah Albert with Daybreak Treasures Boutique. I would like to talk about some events coming up. So we are going to be having some paint nights at Novell Daybreak Apartments, 10678 South Lake Run Road in South Jordan on Tuesday nights from 5:30 to 8, starting on January 9th and going through January 30th, Tuesday nights. 5:30 to 8. You can sign up by going to daybreaktreasures.com, art workshops, and book your spot.
Are you looking for a podcast about motherhood with a unique perspective? This is Jen Banks, the host of A is for Adversity, a weekly podcast that takes you on an alphabetized journey with a common theme for each season. Season 6 will be focused on identity. Join me and a variety of guests every Thursday as we talk about our identity within motherhood through the lens of adversity. You can also find all previous episodes of A is for Adversity right here on Ride the Wave Media.
The following program is powered by Ride the Wave Media.
Introducing the best podcast in Utah, Radio Daybreak. Here are your hosts, Blaine and Bex.
We just came off of that crazy interview with Santa last week, Bex. I can't believe. Did you see the international stories? The news? It got picked up in the North Pole. It got picked up all the way to the South Pole. Everywhere in between.
It was fantastic. We had some insider info on Santa, so how could it not?
It's wild. But look, we're at the end of the year, but it's never too early to start looking at next year. So I don't want to look back at last year. Even though all the interviews were fantastic, I'm ready to look at 2024.
Okay.
You always hear about new year, new you. We're about to take that up a notch today with our guests.
Well, Blaine, I've actually noticed something about you these past couple of weeks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's almost like something different about you. Like you're almost glowing, or something's different. Something is different. We're about 45 seconds into the show. You haven't ranted yet. I mean, this is progress.
That's true. Look, listen, there is something different about me.
Okay.
I did a session with a love coach. You hear of life coaches? This was an amazing love coach. I don't have anything to rant about. Like that's how I feel, Beck. So something has changed in me.
Oh my word. It is the most stressful time of the year. That's something to be said.
That's true. So this got me through the holidays. It had me buzzing. I even was telling people about this, but I had a session with Rachel Cox Taylor.
Yeah.
The love coach. Now, before we bring her in, first of all, I just got to say, you know what? I love you, Rachel. I love you, Bex.
Oh, Rachel, that's so sweet.
I love myself. And no, I haven't listened to the Fresh King Benjamin and started going to the polygamous company. That's not what I'm talking about here. So before people get all crazy out there, that's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about loving people. Rachel Cox Taylor is with us. And I'm going to do something to start this interview off a little different than normal.
Okay.
I've done this session. Miss Rachel, I want you to come in and center us. Can you help us through a breathing session like you did with me and center us and get us where we need to be?
I sure can, and thank you so much for bringing the love, Blaine. You definitely have it, so thank you.
Yes.
Let's go ahead, and if you trust me and you're willing, take a minute and put your hand over your heart.
Okay.
And close your eyes and listen to the sound of my voice. Just notice what you're feeling in your body right now. If you're feeling worried or stressed, or you're thinking about something else other than being here right now, notice your hand on your heart and feel it beating. Your life. And start to listen to your breath. Feel and listen. And on your next breath, I want you to do something. I want you to breathe in love and take one of the deepest breaths you've taken in your day this far. And feel the fullness of your lungs, the feeling of love. And on your next release, I want you to focus on releasing and allowing yourself to let go of any fears, any doubts, any worries, any thoughts of lack that don't serve you. Let them all go in that breath outward. Breathe in hope. Release doubt. Breathe in allowance and being free to be you. And breathe out any feelings that you need to control, what you can't control. Letting go the feeling that you have to be a certain way to please someone or something other than the feelings in your heart. Breathe in. Feel the love. Breathe out. Release the fear. You are the love that you feel. And when you feel ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Being centered and present for you here now. For you.
Now, that's amazing. That's amazing. Do you not feel good, Bex?
Feels so good.
Are you centered?
Yes.
And you can do that any time that you desire to come back to yourself. Because during our day, we get caught up in our mind, in our thoughts, and our worries. Our hearts beat faster.
Someone is at the front door.
We start to worry about things. And we start to become someone who we're not. We put on a show. We put on a face. We get angry. We get frustrated. We get overwhelmed. And that's not you.
I really appreciate that we actually started there because that gives us an insight and like we're ready to receive, right? Now what you have to say. So I just wanted to say that. I felt prompted to say that. So yes, Rachel, please dive deeper into what this is.
I want to dive a little deeper in your comment. You said we're ready to receive what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to take that deeper and say, you're ready to receive what your heart wants to hear today, what your heart already knows. Because what happens is we get in our heads and we're no longer guided by our hearts. And taking the time to come back to your heart is what will lead you to everything you want. The love, the joy, the answers that you're looking for, the guidance. It will bring you everything. But you have to take the time to go there.
I like what you hit earlier with people are looking for the answers. We're all looking for the answer.
In the wrong place.
Yeah, the questions might be different for people, but we're all looking for an answer out there. Mm-hmm. How did you come up with this answer for yourself? Like, what was the inspiration? Why are you doing this?
I went through a dark night of the soul, like I think most people experience at some point in their life. You know, where you're really searching for answers. I was going through a faith transition. I didn't know where to turn. And in my searching, all of it led me back to my heart and to love. I didn't know what I could turn to. And the question that I asked is, well, what can I hold on to? And in that moment, clearly into my mind came love. It's the one thing you can hold on to. Love. When all of my doubts, when I didn't have anything in the world that I could solidly stand on, I knew love. And then it got deeper because then the answers really started coming. And then when I got quiet and began to listen, the answer was, you are love.
Oh.
Wow.
Rachel?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a big question here. You know what's coming. You know what's coming.
I'll keep it simple for everyone.
What is love? Like, define it. Tell me what it is. And I know everybody out there just thought about that song, the What is Love? No.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Yes.
Don't hurt me.
But no, tell us.
I can't tell you how many times that's come into my head with that question. Thank you.
I love it.
What is love? Well, it's not what most people think it is. I think a lot of people are misled. When I got married to my husband, you've probably heard the phrase, oh, you found your other half. And that hurt me in my marriage because I thought someone else was going to complete me. But if I am love, love is whole. It is complete. Love is allowing things to be as they are. It is acceptance. It is expansion. Love is always growing. There's always enough. It is abundant. It is giving. It is including. It is becoming. It is believing. It is kindness. Love is believing that everything is happening for you. That even the bad stuff in life, there's a reason for it, and you can see a gift in that moment. Whereas fear makes you want to contract. It makes you want to hide and be small. It makes you want to control. Like, I got to control the situation. So
Yes.
go up and look a certain way. Love doesn't do that. Love shows up and says, "Hey, I'm here, and I'm here to give what I have to give, and to trust that what I have to give is what's meant to be there." It's not having the mask on. It's being authentic. Love is. Fear is having the mask on and trying to fit some form of acceptance and worrying and controlling and not allowing. So I think the biggest thing that I always think of with love is, do I feel open? Do I feel expansive? Do I feel like I'm seeing things from a higher plane, and I'm seeing that there is some gift in this? That's what love does. It doesn't label. There's no labels in love. So does that kind of give you an idea? No,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
That was amazing.
I'll add to it. Love is everywhere. Love
Yeah.
is universal, and I don't just mean universal here in the earth. I mean universe,
Yeah.
like that type of universe. Like, it's everywhere. That's what I see it as. I've told you that before,
I
Rachel.
agree.
You agreed. This is amazing. Like,
It really is. Yeah, it really, really is. How long have you been doing this, Rachel? When did you find this, and when did this all come about in your life? How many years ago?
I mean, it's been evolving, and I don't see myself as finished, but
Sure.
probably about 10 years ago is when it started to really get momentum.
Yeah.
And that was through that experience where I felt like it was a dark night and I was looking for more. And often that's when we make our big breakthroughs, and we do see more because we want it. And when we want it, and when we allow it to come, the answers do come. But we have to allow it, like love allows. It's not fearful. It's not like it's a willing participant. Love is.
You know what? A willing participant is what you have to be to go through the process with you, because I've done it, and I'll talk about that process just a little bit. It's about an hour-long session. You got to do an hour. Believe me, it flies by. You don't feel like it's an hour. So
Oh my
make
goodness.
time.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, sign me up. Like, what do I do? What are next steps? And when
Yes.
did you start taking on clients and doing this for friends or families, or how did it evolve? That's
Exactly.
my next question. And I'm sorry, Blaine, I totally interrupted you,
No,
but
you're
I'm
good.
just like, tell me more.
Yeah, the process is fun, but you've got to open your heart up and be vulnerable with Rachel. Trust her. I promise you. She's got to put a lot of trust into you as well. Like, you got to. It's a partnership like that.
Blaine, I'm so glad that you brought that up, that you realized that in your session, because one of my favorite phrases is, you or I am the one that I've been waiting for. Okay. We all have things that we want, and we all have things that we don't like, and we can tell they don't sync up with us. And we want to fix these things in our life, but sometimes we feel stuck. And then the fear comes in, right? The opposite of who we are, not expansive, not the love. The fear comes in and tells us you're stuck, you don't know what you're doing, and you should just, give up. What happens is, when you allow yourself to be willing, you allow yourself to look at yourself honestly, you give yourself power because you're not a victim. All of a sudden, you see your life and you see where you're making choices that don't line up with who you are, which is love, where you're acting out of fear, or you're trying to control, or you're trying to criticize, and, whatever situation, whether it's in your marriage or in your parenting or in your work, anytime you're constricting and closing yourself off, you are closing yourself off to everything you want in your life and in your heart. Because When you are not in alignment with love and who you are, you default to a lower state of fear. And when you are in alignment with fear, you're shutting yourself off to your answers and to seeing what you need to do differently in order to raise where you're at currently in your life. You're keeping yourself stuck because you're not willing to expand like
Yeah.
love expands.
And that's probably where you see a lot of people repeating these same patterns and behaviors. And yeah,
Those same patterns. Why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep hurting my friends? Why do I keep hurting my family? Why do I keep hurting myself? And that is the exact reason, because the fear wants a band-aid.
Yeah.
It wants to feel like, okay, well, if I go and I go eat this burger that I told myself I wasn't going to eat, then it's going to make me temporarily feel better. And it's going to keep me safe. You're looking for comfort rather than expansion. And when you turn to love and you expand, you look at, well, why do I want this burger? And do I need this burger? And you may say, you know what? I'm going to eat this burger in a whole different way as love. I'm going to look at this burger, I'm going to take a bite, and I'm going to allow myself to enjoy it. And then I'm going to decide how much I really want of this burger, because I'm not going to control it, because love doesn't control it. It allows. And it loves it. Love loves itself enough to say, have a bite of this burger and enjoy it and decide when you're done. And then if you're done, maybe all of a sudden your heart's going to say, you know what? That burger was good, but I'm ready. I'm ready for something else on my plate. And all of a sudden, you don't feel the control and the fear and the shame and the guilt. You feel empowered. You're empowered because you're expanding to something more. You're seeing this higher version of yourself. You're feeling this higher version by actually embodying love and allowing yourself to take not the control, because the control, but allowing yourself to make the choice rather than to control it, to make it, to be aware that you have the choice. Okay, because we're not the victims. Now we're choosing. We're an active participant in this burger. And we're going to get everything good out of that we want, and we're going to decide if it's what serves us. And if it doesn't serve us in the way that we want, we're going to look for what does, because now we're in tune with ourselves and our hearts and our love.
So you've got to love yourself, is what you're saying, before you can love outwards. Basically, if you start with yourself, it's going to branch out, right?
You definitely, you cannot love others without loving yourself first.
Yes.
You can't love with an empty well.
So, one other question I had for you, as a woman in business and through this process, I'm assuming you do this for all clients. It doesn't matter their gender, it's for everyone. But as a woman in business, do you see, or would you have advice for other women that you're kind of seeing are something that they need to hear, or something, foundationally across that, maybe as a message that you would like to share to women?
Absolutely. I think the important thing to know is that we're all equal. We're all equal. And that we all have this power inside of us. And to not be intimidated by gender, but to see us as equal, and to come from that power, that love that we all have inside ourselves. I believe that love is what will heal our world. That's why I do what I do. Because when you come to see who you are and feel and know who you are, there really is nothing that can stop you.
We're at the beginning of the year, because we're not looking back, we're looking forward. Give me one thing that man, woman, whoever can do daily for 365 days this year, and then next year you guarantee that we'll see a difference in ourselves. What can we do daily, one time a day?
Okay. One thing, well, I'm going to combine, and this will be one thing, but tell yourself, I am the one that I've been waiting for. And center yourself. When you feel all of those emotions, when you're not feeling peace, when you're feeling like you need to please other people and you got to put on your face, get that moment and be still with yourself. And remember, if you don't go within, you go without. And this is the greatest power that exists in our universe, love. And you tell me if you do want to go without that, because I don't. And that's a choice we make when we're in that. And the more we realize we have that, you will change every single part of your life if you do that every day.
So center yourself and look in the mirror and say, I am the one I've been waiting for. And that's it. That's all you got to do. 365 days and you'll be a whole brand new you by 2025. The greatest force in the universe, love. Right here, we had Rachel Cox Taylor. It's at Rachel Cox Taylor on Instagram. That's how you can get in there. Go on there and what? Just send you a DM?
Yeah, Rachel Cox Taylor on Facebook as well.
Now, I'll throw one more thing out at you here. I saw an article yesterday that said love is so expensive. And I started reading it. And people are paying up to $1,500 a month for VIP Tinder services online. Now, for me to come to you and be able to love myself, your love is not that expensive, right? Like your sessions aren't, you don't have to give us a price. But I don't think at Rachel Cox Taylor on Instagram is going to be $1,500 a month for swiping right? This is legitimate, feel good about yourself from somebody who feels good about herself, right?
Absolutely. But the thing that I would like to say about that is Tinder is a wonderful resource. If you want to experience love in your life, be love.
Yes.
Even if you find someone on Tinder and you haven't discovered how to be love yourself, you will not feel it because you'll be looking for someone to fill that inside of you, what is already there and that you have to claim for yourself first. Nobody can put it there. And when you realize that that is inside of you and you have brought that power into your life as your guide and as your source of inspiration and your dreams and your wants, when you are living from your inner source love guidance, that is what will make you fulfilled in the relationship you find on Tinder, because you're going to have love to give. And because you're going to bring a whole person to that relationship. And hopefully that other person is bringing a whole person to the relationship as well. And together, you will be unstoppable.
Exactly. You're not bringing the better half, you're bringing a whole person.
Blaine doesn't know this, but I met my husband on Tinder. Oh, it's out there!
Not to one up you, but Bex doesn't know this. I met Lindsay on Tinder. So, and I'm gonna tell you this. What, did you meet your husband on Tinder?
No, not on Tinder, online.
There you go. See,
Yeah, 3
there it
for
is.
3.
There it is. I couldn't love somebody on Tinder till I loved myself, and that's when I found her. So that's what happened.
Truly, yeah.
That's it. But thank you so much, Rachel Cox Taylor on Instagram. Go look her up.
Thank you.
Book a session where you'll be buzzing. I promise you'll be buzzing afterwards.
Yes,
Thank
truly.
you. Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Wow. What a conversation with Rachel Cox Taylor, the soul coach. She's not a love coach. She's a soul coach.
She really is.
My soul is buzzing. Like, I'm still buzzing.
Oh, me too. I could talk to her forever, Blaine. She was so awesome. I mean, just incredibly powerful. She's amazing.
I can't wait for the world to hear her. Like, really, I can't.
Yeah.
There's so much bad. There's so much fighting going on in the world. And I know this is probably naive of me to say, but if everybody heard that, if everybody heard what she did, there might not be, I won't say there won't be any fighting in the world out there, but there won't be as much. There's
The
no way
answers
there'd
are
be as
within
much.
all of us. I mean, that's what she's saying. The answers are within all of us, and love is the answer. And like, dig deep, right? Like, it's within you. It's within you to make that difference. Such a powerful message.
Powerful.
You know, one thing that I thought was really awesome from that. Okay, we got to hear more about your Tinder. I did not know that we all met our spouses online.
I knew you were going to bring this up. How, like, we didn't plan that, Bex. Like, Rachel didn't know that. That's wild that came out, and that was like 40 minutes deep into a conversation, and that's my second time talking to her, and we never talked about that.
How we met our loved ones, so our significant other. I don't want to say my other half because she talked about that too. So he's not my other half.
You know what though? That's so funny that she brought that up, because when I did meet my wife on Tinder, we never looked at it and never thought we were the second half. We just thought it was. We never thought that way. We actually had that conversation, and I did meet her on Tinder. The wilder thing about me and her meeting on Tinder is that we did it in Hollywood. Now, I don't know if you know how many people are on Tinder in Hollywood.
I don't.
When you put your radius in there, we only had a small window that we were living. We were living within 1.5 miles of each other. Didn't even know it.
Oh my word.
In the middle of Hollywood.
So crazy.
Me being from the middle of nowhere on a farm in Tennessee, and her being from up north Ogden, Utah. We met in Hollywood on Sunset Boulevard through Tinder.
Oh my gosh. That's so wild. Right? I got to follow up with your wife because I've never actually asked her story of what brought her to Hollywood. And there's probably a story there that her and I need to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. You got to ask her. You got to get her on for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's it for this week's show. Go book Miss Rachel. Go at Instagram. It's at Rachel Cox Taylor, RACHELCOXTAYLOR at Rachel Cox Taylor. You gotta get a session with her. Like it's amazing. Like
Blaine, I'm already working on getting mine. She is amazing. Looking forward to it.
You've already booked a couple sessions. You got your daughters booked for a couple. Like I
do. Yeah.
Rachel's about to be in business for a while, and then be sure you're here next week too, because we're gonna have Jen Banks on.
Oh, we got a great show coming up next week. That's right, Jen Banks.
From A is for Adversity. That's her podcast. It's right here on Ride the Wave Media. Guess what? It's the new year.
Yes.
This thing went crazy. I can't wait. We'll see you guys next year right here. Radio Daybreak, best podcast in Utah.
See you next year, y'all.